You know what? Can we change our in the kitchen segment? And I want to see Ami put away a whole gingerbread house.
The number one tip to keeping your gingerbread house lasting through the holidays is don't let Ami near
them. It'll be gone by December 10th.
Coming up on Need to Know, Christmas cookies and Christmas crack. Are gingerbread houses supposed to be edible? And the perfect gift for the baker in your life this holiday season. All that and everything else you need to know. Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Need to Know. I am your host Gemma Stafford, cookbook author, creator of Bigger Bolder Baking, and I'm here with my two lovely co-hosts, Ami Shukla, who is the culinary director here at Bigger Bolder Baking, and Tianna Cohen, who is a professional host but an amateur baker.
That is right. Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. Happy December.
Yay.
We made it. I feel like
one holiday down.
One holiday
Two holidays. We did Halloween too.
We did. And now we are getting into the finale of the year, the holiday season here. And I'm so excited to talk about holiday baking because I feel like on social media specifically, it's a trend all year long. But this time of the year, people are always posting like the cutest TikToks baking and to holiday tunes and like their favorite Christmas music, and it's so fun to watch, but then it's also so inspiring. So I'm gonna just jump right into hot from the oven. The biggest thing I've been seeing is people on TikTok are making loads of cookies, like hundreds of cookies in one day, and then they package them up and give them out to people. And this was like kind of news to me, like how big and the importance of Christmas cookies. Like I obviously like love cookies, but this is like a whole phenomenon, like Christmas cookies. Like there's National Cookie Day, there's National Bake Cookie Day, there's National Give Away Cookie Day.
These are all three holidays.
And so I'm like, we have to talk about this. So with all these people who are making all these not TikToks, but making all these cookies for TikTok, what are like your best top 5 tips for people who are going to do like a big bake day of multiple different kinds of cookies to give out to people?
Yeah, that's a great question because it's cookie season right now. These short videos online are insane of these women making dozens of different types of cookies. I will say, don't make your life hard. You know what I mean? Make it like, don't make life hard on yourself when it can be a stressful time of year. I would say make all your cookie doughs in advance. You know, if you're listening in December now, like you make them now and put them in the freezer. Don't make, pick your 4 favorite cookies or your 3 favorite cookies. Like anybody will be delighted to get 1 or 2 cookies. So, that's definitely, more is not better. And I will say pick cookies that are kind of a crisp cookie rather than a chewy cookie. So something, because, around this time of year, there's such abundance of everything. And maybe if you give a box of cookies, somebody's not going to get to it for a day or 2. So I would say pick things like a ginger snap, like those little German molasses cookies, something that bakes up kind of crisp and will last a few days. Like I wouldn't do like my, best ever chocolate chip cookies because those are really best eaten the first 24 hours. So I'd say be careful about what you choose to pick.
Right.
I would add, you can take a cookie base. Like if you want to make a lot of different kinds of cookies, take one base. On biggerbolderbaking.com, there's a crazy cookie dough recipe. Make a triple batch of that if your mixer is big enough, and then divide it up, and then you make a few different flavors of cookies all with one batch. You can do that. The New York Times a few years ago, now I think, did a shortbread and then it was like, you can make pinwheel cookies with the shortbread. You can make, this kind of sandwich cookie with the shortbread. You can do all these different kinds of things with this one shortbread. But honestly, you could do that with we have a 3-ingredient shortbread recipe.
Yeah, that would work well.
You do that and you can add different things into it, put things on top of it. So there's like different cookies, but it's all a similar base. And so they feel different. So that would be my first tip. Definitely start making your cookies now, even if you're not giving them away for a few weeks. Put the doughs in the freezer if you've got the space. If you have freezer space, make those cookies in advance. And the other thing I also want to say is that sometimes I've gotten a cookie box and people like to put mint, like peppermint or minty things on cookies, but that mint flavor sort of permeates the entire box. So if you want to do a pepperminty cookie or something that's really minty, wrap those in plastic separately when you're packaging up your cookies so that the whole box doesn't end up tasting like mint.
That's a really good one.
Yeah.
I actually, like what Ami said about making a base recipe, the 3-ingredient shortbread, and shortbread is that dry kind of crispy cookie that will stay fresh for days. So that's a really good option. Yeah. Don't make life hard on yourself. Like, anybody's going to be delighted to get a box of homemade cookies, no matter what it is.
Yeah, and shortbread in particular also ships really well. So
Yeah,
if you
that's
are wanting to ship cookies to friends and family around the country or the world, shortbread will last 2 weeks and it gets better and better. So that's a great one to make and ship off, and it'll still be really good.
What's incredible to me is not only are all these people making hundreds of cookies, they're also then simultaneously filming themselves doing it, making this content for TikTok. I'm like, the time.
Yes.
You're crushing it. You're making cookies, you're making content. Have either of you ever heard of Christmas crack?
Yes.
Have you ever made it?
Yes, we both made it for the first time, right?
I've made it before.
I hadn't made it before. I knew of it, but we made it for the first time, and I think it should be released on biggerbolderbaking.com now. But yes, explain to people what it is. It's really interesting.
If you don't know what Christmas crack is, my trusty notes here. It is a sweet and salty treat made with saltine crackers, covered with toffee, and then baked, and then topped with semi-sweet chocolate. Does that sound right?
Yeah. It's basically like you can take saltines. You can also do this with matzo crackers.
Oh, yeah.
You cook up butter and brown sugar, pour that on, bake it very briefly, throw on some chocolate, sort of reminiscent of English toffee. But you've got this crackery base.
And salty base too.
Yeah.
So
saltines are just crackers for those of you outside of the US. They're just like crackers that you
like
have
a water cracker,
water biscuit,
similar to
a
little softer.
Yeah.
It's funny to me because, like, to me, saltine crackers are like what you have like when you're not feeling good or like your stomach's upset. To be baked into like a yummy treat is like funny to me. I
will say that this does have elements of what the kind of thing that I would like. I will say that I thought it was so delicious, and I had to. We made it for our shoot in August, and I ate a lot of it. There was a little bit left, and I had to dispose of it because I was just going to keep on eating.
I think that's how it gets
why it gets its name.
And no joke, it was 8:00 in the morning, and I was having some because it's just so good.
It is so good. Well, there was a girl on TikTok who made a Christmas crack cookie. So she took all those ingredients of the saltine, the toffee, chocolate, pretzels, and she made it into a cookie dough and then made a cookie. And so I'm like, see, Christmas cookies, like cookies are a staple. And so then it got me thinking, if you could only have one Christmas cookie during the holidays, one cookie to sum up the holiday, what would it be?
I know.
That's so hard.
It's so fast.
I kind of have a number one, and it's I'm trying to think of where it originates from. It has a few different names.
Okay.
But I first had it here in America when we made it for our website, for my website.
What is it?
It's what they call snowball cookies, but these are the Mexican wedding cookies.
Oh, yeah, like the Greek wedding cookies or the polvorones or the
similar polvorones because they're spiced and stuff. These are the ones I'm talking about. They're like little they look like snowballs. They're called snowball cookies. They're covered in powdered sugar. They're made with toasted pecans and like a little bit of flour and just cooking like butter and sugar and yummy stuff. They're salty. They bake up really soft.
Yeah.
And you think like, oh my gosh, are these even ready? I don't know if they're finished baking. Because they're so soft. But then while they're warm, you dip them, you coat them in powdered sugar. Then they go cold. Then you coat them again. They disappear in your mouth.
They're so good.
They're one of the most popular cookies on our website. And during November, December, people go nuts for them. They are so yummy. And did I say they're a little bit salty? Oh, they're so good.
Yeah, so yummy.
Sounds so good.
I love those. I actually forgot about those cookies. They're so good. They are really fantastic.
There's so many cookies.
I know.
How can you keep track?
I know.
What about you, Ami?
I would say any kind of shortbread. Just a simple butter cookie. It can have chocolate in it. It could just be plain. It can have spices in it. But I just find that, for all of the fancy baking in the world, something so simple and basic, like good butter, good flour, nice and short and crumbly. I just can't stop eating those.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Yeah. That's a good one. It's a classic, like the Scottish shortbread.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Tianna?
Well, this was hard for me too, and I had to eliminate. I think we can all agree, chocolate chip cookies don't count in this specific question because I feel like that's too hard. But I love around the holidays Italian cookies, traditional, the mini Italian cookies at an Italian bakery. They have the ones that are red, white, and green, and then they have the shortbread ones with the fruit jam, or they have, there's so many, there's the ricotta cookies, and to me they're just they're all Italian Christmas cookies. My boyfriend is from Chicago, and every year we go to visit his family, and they're all very Italian, and his aunt makes hundreds of Italian cookies, and so that was where my love of these came from. And so to me there's this familial element to these cookies, but then also there's something about the different textures and flavors you get in all of them. So I just love Italian Christmas cookies is my pick.
Nice.
Yeah. So stick around because at the end of today's episode, the three of us are going to be doing a Christmas cookie exchange and get to try each other's favorite cookies. I'm really excited.
Me too.
I have one more fun topic from Hot from the Oven, and I think this is fun and might cause a little bit of a debate. So I saw this interesting TikTok, and it was a really competitive gingerbread house making party, and they were using hot glue guns to keep their gingerbread houses together. So then it made me think, are gingerbread houses supposed to be edible?
Yes. Of course.
And so No, they're not supposed to be edible.
No.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Look, it's magical. It's like Hansel and Gretel. They go to the witch's house and they get to eat the house. It's my house is cake. It's amazing. It's so you're supposed to make this beautiful house that you can then eat. It's the magic of Christmas.
You know what? Can we change our in the kitchen segment? And I want to see Ami put away a whole gingerbread house.
You walk by and you take a gum drop and then you walk by and you snap a little piece of the roof off. I mean, that's what you do.
You don't. You give it to your child at the 1st of December. It becomes, they make it's a craft for an hour.
Yeah.
It looks like a hot mess.
Yeah.
And then come, December 26th, it's in the bin.
Yeah. The hot glue is just it has to you have to at least use edible substances, even if you're not going to eat them.
You should use edible.
Doesn't make any sense.
Because that's what you do on sets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Use the glue.
Okay. Now I do know that I was thinking about this because I was watching these hot glue things, and I was like, well, it is an issue because you start to build the gingerbread, and then you've got your royal icing, and you put it together, and then you get the roof on, and then the thing collapses. Yeah. So it's annoying. But I came up with this really good idea. Do you want to hear it?
Absolutely.
Okay. The issue is that you don't have structure. Okay? You've got you can hold the royal icing until it dries for half an hour and then hold the other things, but no one's going to do that. So you make a Rice Krispie block. Okay, this is edible. So this is, I feel like this is legit. And you have a block of Rice Krispie that's the size of your house. You slap frosting on it. Then you make the sides of your house. Then you make a little Rice Krispie maybe roof, and then you put your decorations all on top of it. So it looks like a gingerbread house, but the inside is edible and there's no hot glue. I think this is brilliant. Don't look at me like this. This is an amazing idea. This is what I would do. This is what I'm doing this year. Rice Krispie foundation.
And then what? And then you're going to sit down with your family and eat. I want to.
You can tint the Rice Krispie green if it has to be holiday-like. I mean,
But I feel like with a gingerbread house, like the longer it sits out, like it's not as good. Like it's weird.
None of it's good,
None of
you
it's
guys.
good.
the candy.
You
They
got
just
it at
pick out-
Walgreens.
you walk by and you pick off the candy. You know, like you don't like eat the whole thing like a slice of gingerbread house. You like it's like on the table with all the other holiday stuff, and you walk by and you've never walked by and picked off a piece of gingerbread house.
Have you seen
Am I the only one
the
who's ever
gingerbread
done this?
houses that my child has made?
Does he wash his hands first?
Of course he doesn't. No, he's 4.5. Oh, no. Nobody's eating that stuff.
You know, when
Except for him.
when I was a kid, my dad got really into the idea of making a gingerbread house, and he baked actual gingerbread and he put it all together.
I did that one time.
Nobody was allowed to eat it, and it was the worst. It was, I mean, because it was his special creation, and it was beautiful, but it was very sad for me. So I feel like that was a formative experience. I will always have an edible gingerbread.
Yeah.
Whether or not you eat it, I mean, that's on you.
Yeah.
No, I'm getting you for Christmas.
Well, let us know in the comments if you think a gingerbread house should or should not be edible, and if you would use a hot glue gun to put it together. But, that's all I have this week from Hot from the Oven. So thank you both so much. I'd love to get into the mix here. We just finished Thanksgiving. Tomorrow is Cyber Monday. So I thought this is actually a perfect time to get both of your opinions on what some of the best gifts for bakers are this holiday season. So we'll start, Gemma, with you. If you have go-to things you've either been given. Yeah.
I think about when I was a child and I first started baking, and getting baking gifts was just so huge. And even if you're not, even if you're, whatever age, and you decide to take up baking, or you start a hobby or whatever, I would say a really great one that is not very expensive is a hand mixer, an electric hand mixer. If you are new to baking, you don't want to invest in a stand mixer, electric hand mixers are fantastic little machines. They have a really powerful engine on them. I remember you can get them for $20. You can also pay around $45 and get the KitchenAid one. But they are really reasonably priced, and they are fantastic, and they're safe to use. That would be my number one choice. And then you can pick a color, and different brands make them. And it's not just KitchenAid out there. There's lots of different brands making electric hand mixers. And it's just, I just think about when I was young, I used my mom's hand mixer to death. Mm-hmm. She had a stand mixer, but when I was very young, I every night I was in the kitchen using it. And I use ours even still to this day a lot. So that would be my number one.
That's a great idea. In fact, my kids oftentimes want to bake something and get intimidated by the big stand mixer that I have, and we don't have a hand mixer. So I might actually take that idea and give them something small that they can use. I think that's great.
Yeah, make it more accessible for them.
Yeah. I think if you're, especially for kids, a cake decorating set with piping bags and different tips can be super fun. It can, I remember getting a cake decorating set when I was a kid and playing around and having no idea how to pipe. And, my sister and I made this ridiculous bright green cake with pink squiggles all over it because we were trying to learn how to decorate, but it was really fun, and it was highly creative, and it was fun to have our own set of tips to use. So
yeah,
I think
that's
that
a
can
good
be really
one.
fun. I would say for an experienced baker, for someone who really, has done it a lot and probably has a lot of equipment. I just recently gifted myself a Hedley and Bennett apron. And there are so many gorgeous aprons. You can find them online, and they're just beautiful. And I finally have an apron that I don't feel bad wearing, and they're not cheap, so they're kind of gifty if you want to give a fancy gift.
Yeah.
And they're I don't know. I really I love it, and I would definitely give that to someone. And I feel like that's the sort of thing that you can't have too many of. You can if someone is oh well, this person's a baker, they have a lot of different things, but you can always have another apron. They're always useful. They get dirty. You put them in the wash. You need another one. So that would be.
Yeah, that's a good one. Also, little things when I think of tools, because people always often ask tools for stocking stuffers.
Oh yeah.
I would say a few of mine would be a microplane for sure. Mm-hmm. Great for sweet and savory. I use mine multiple times a day, every single day. And they don't go dull for years. They're absolutely fantastic. Definitely just a microplane brand. And then also paring knives. Like you
I
run
love
out of
paring knives. I can never have enough paring knives. I feel like they are one of the most, beside from a chef's knife, I use a paring knife all the time. I peel apples with it. I chop things up with it. They're
Crate and
really
Barrel
great.
sell a nice little set. I can't remember the name of the knife that it is, but sell a nice little set of like 3 paring knives, different colored handles and stuff. Yeah, paring knives are fantastic.
Or a kitchen scale also.
Oh,
Like if you
kitchen
don't have a
scale.
kitchen scale, every baker needs a kitchen
Digital,
scale.
you mean?
Yeah, digital kitchen
digital
scale.
kitchen scale, and that can range from like 20-ish, like up to, I think I paid 50 once. I did pay 50 once. But that was an OXO one. It lasted me years. Kitchen scale is invaluable if you do a lot of cooking.
Do you have a gift something you were ever gifted for baking that's become one of your favorite things, or like a must-have?
I will tell you, I'm the worst person to buy gifts for, because I know what I like and I know what I don't like.
That's not a bad
And
thing.
and then what it is, when you can then also, one of my other things is you can always read my face. So it's like, oh, so the best gifts that people have gotten me, I've asked for myself.
Nothing wrong with having a list.
No, so it just makes life easier. Like, I'm not disappointed, you're not disappointed.
Yeah.
Anyway, long story short, when I was starting my catering business in San Francisco years ago, one of my good girlfriends, Susie, gave me a $50 voucher for Williams Sonoma. And I mean, I just didn't, I only started my business. I had zero money. And I thought to myself, like, I need to buy something here that's going to benefit my business. Like, what could that be? And this is $50 to spend in Williams Sonoma. And I went in and I got that OXO digital scale that I was talking about. And it is on the pricier. It was $50, the full $50. Invaluable. Absolutely invaluable.
That's great.
Yeah, I have to say, a lot of times I'll end up giving my kids like an Amazon gift card, for their friends for gifts, because I don't know what to give them. But and my kids are like, oh, gift cards are so, like, they're so thoughtless. You shouldn't give a gift card. But I have been gifted gift cards to kitchen supply stores like Williams Sonoma or Crate and Barrel, Sur La Table. And those are fun because those stores, that you get to really get specific on, like, oh, what can I get?
Yeah.
What
do I want?
Yeah, someone gave me a Sur La Table gift certificate for, I think it was like $50, and this was before I had working countertops in my kitchen. And I got myself just a marble slab so that I could roll pastry out on, which was $50. And it was something that was like, I didn't really need, but it just became this wonderful, indispensable thing and so I could get really specific on what was missing in my collection of kitchen things. So I wouldn't shy away from a gift card from a fancy
that's a really
kitchen
good
supply
point.
store.
Also, Crate and Barrel, like they do like baking equipment, like they do bowls and whisks and stuff, but then they also do lovely dishes. Like I said, those paring knives, tools. They do. I think they sell microplanes in there. Do you know what? Yeah, now somebody in San Francisco years ago, when I was finishing up catering with one of my companies, they gave me a gift card for Sur La Table, which was down in the basement of the Westfield on Market Street. You didn't need to know that information. I decided to share it. And it's one of those moments where it's like, I can get anything I want for me. Like, this is a real treat. Like, what do I get to buy for $50? And I got a cast iron. It was a Nordic ware cast iron, around 12-inch round flat. It was grilled. It had grill marks on one side and it was flat on the other side. It can be used in an oven or on a stovetop or on a barbecue. And I still have it to this day. And that was around 14 years ago. It is one of the best things I ever bought myself. I've used it for everything. And I put it into my very expensive pizza oven that came from Italy to actually get to retain heat and get a real pop on my crust. So long story short, I agree with Ami. If you know somebody is into food, go Williams Sonoma, Crate and Barrel. Sort of top, are they still around?
Yeah, they are. Or whatever local kitchen supply store that's around you if they offer gift certificates, like that. It can be nice.
Yeah. That's not thoughtless.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Are there any unexpected gifts for a baker that you wouldn't think of? Because obviously tools and things like that, but anything that's maybe thinking outside the box that would be a good gift?
Give me 1 minute to think about that.
Can I just show you?
Yeah.
Something that I gifted myself.
Oh, you're just like me.
Yeah, exactly. So earlier this summer, I was I was in New York, and I went to this restaurant supply store to find a rolling pin for the people we were staying with because they didn't have a rolling pin. And when I had read about this kitchen supply store, they were like, "Oh, you can buy the Coon's spoon here. You can go." And I was like, "What's a Coon's spoon?" So, and everyone was like talking about the Coon's spoon. So I'm
gonna show us a Coon's spoon?
Okay. I got two in it because I got this fancy little gift bag. Okay, now it doesn't look like any. Okay, look, it's a spoon. All right, I was like, well, what's the spoon? Okay, hold the spoon. Hold the spoon. So this spoon was designed by Gray Coons, who was the
I see it
chef
right here
at L'Espinasse in New York.
Oh.
And it's supposed to be this like incredible ergonomic spoon. You're supposed to be able to like spoon sauces. You can do those fancy ice cream scoops called quenelles. You can do it with that.
You can do a quenelle.
It has this,
I can see that.
It has this like lovely tip on it. That's like so you can like drizzle a sauce on your dessert. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, this just looks like a spoon. And it wasn't even, it was like, $12 or something like that. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy myself a couple of these spoons and just use them to see if I think they're special because I couldn't resist. Bon Appetit has written about the Coon spoon. Everyone's like, this is our favorite spoon.
God, I'm in the wrong business, man.
What is this? It's a spoon. But okay, so what's amazing about this is it's inexpensive. You can get it on Amazon. It comes in a fancy little box, and it is totally like unexpected, unassuming, and then it's become this incredible tool. Like this is the perfect amount of batter for a pancake. It's a 9-inch spoon. So now there's differences. You scoop your pancake and you get that perfect size pancake right on your thing, and it pours from this tip. I just find like I'm finding endless uses for these Coon's spoons, which now I won't let anyone in my family touch, and I put back in my special little case in a special little drawer, and nobody's allowed to touch the Coon spoons. Wow. Get the Coon spoons. This is what you need.
That's a good one.
There you go.
I've literally never heard of a Coon spoon.
Yet now you need a Coon spoon.
I don't know if I'm any wiser now knowing it. To be honest with you, Mommy.
I think I win on unusual and unexpected.
You do. That was both of those things.
Also inexpensive. So
I did expect you to say $30.
It wasn't. I mean, it was. I think it was like on sale at the time, but I don't think that I don't think that you can buy one and it's not.
That's good because it's a giant spoon.
Yeah, Kunz, and I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Coons. Gray Coons.
Okay, there you go.
Great.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Well, thank you both so much for all that insight on what to get this holiday season for the baker in your life. We are back with our Bold Baking Hotline, and that is where we take questions directly from you and answer them right here on the podcast. So our first question is, what are some tips for baking a gingerbread house that will last through the holidays?
I would say something I've learned over the years is make sure that you bake your cookie crisp enough. So usually it's a lower oven, like 325, 300, which is around 160. And just make sure you bake it kind of lower and slower because you're not trying to get color, you're just trying to dry them out. Mm-hmm. And that will, I've made cookies before where the cookies weren't crisp for edible ornaments and they broke. So just make sure that they're nice and dry cookies. Okay. And then I will say just about the glue, I use royal icing, and just make sure you've got a lovely thick royal icing, and that will really make the difference.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think those are great tips.
Ammy's
and
tip.
Then just chow down, right, Ammy?
Yeah. Make it with...
The number one tip to keeping your gingerbread house lasting through the holidays is don't let Ammy near them.
It'll be gone by December 10th. Our next question is from Bold Baker Marjorie about freezing cookie dough. Are there any cookies that you shouldn't make in advance?
I don't think there's any dough that you can't make in advance and freeze.
Okay.
I haven't found that. I will say bake if you're doing cookie exchanges and those kinds of things. I'd say really just bake them off. Don't bake them off too far in advance. Just bake them off just before you need them, because they, like I said, they could be sitting in somebody's house for a day or two. If you're shipping, also make sure that you bake them off just in time.
And her question was about doughs, not baked cookies.
Correct. Like, is there cookie doughs that you shouldn't make in advance?
Not that I've experienced.
not me either.
Cookie doughs are generally pretty sturdy, and that's kind of what's great about them.
Yeah.
You can make them in volume.
Well, great. If you ever have any questions for us that you want answered on the Bold Baking Hotline, you can always comment on YouTube, leave us a message on Instagram, or email us at info@biggerbolderbaking.com. Well, that's all I had for this week's episode. I think it's time we get to our Christmas cookie exchange. What do you say?
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for.
Let's do it.
Mommy, don't be disappointed.
No gingerbread.
There's no gingerbread out. I'm going to have to bring you in a knife and fork or a sledgehammer.
Just gonna walk by and stealthily pick off.
Okay, let's go get our cookies.
Great.
Okay.
Right, so ladies, I'm not sure what the taste test is here because I don't know it's not a competition, right?
No, it's an exchange.
An exchange.
Yeah.
But if it were a competition, did you see the lovely plate I put mine on?
Well, if it were a competition, I did not make mine. I bought mine. These are my Italian cookies from the Eagle Rock Italian Bakery. Oh,
Beautiful. Look at that. Those are so
an
sweet.
assortment. Yes, they were very kind. This bakery's been around since like 1949, so it's also voted the #1 Italian bakery in Los Angeles. It's in Eagle Rock, so shout out to them. And yeah,
Lovely.
yes.
So no, it's not a competition, but mine are homemade.
The shade just threw right now.
And I made them last night, and they are on this lovely Christmas themed plate, and are very delicious.
And then these are also homemade, even though it's not a competition. And these are a shortbread recipe that I've developed. They're a little fussy. There's some extra ingredients in there, and there's also some fresh chopped rosemary in them. And I cannot go through a holiday season without making this. Gets demanded by my neighbors, my family. Everybody loves them, so I hope you guys do too.
Are we supposed to taste each other's, but not our own? Or
No, we
We can have our own.
I also have a secret surprise.
A secret
Do we get a
surprise.
spoon?
This was a special request by somebody on the team. Christmas crack! Just because. Why not?
Oh, yummy!
Yeah. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
I
way
have
better
to
than
try
cookies.
one of these.
Mommy, this is really good cookie.
Oh.
It's a really good cookie.
Thank you, Gemma.
For those of you who are listening and not watching, I'm going to move my mouth away from the microphone because nobody wants to listen to that.
Okay, I'm gonna try Gemma's.
Oh my God, so good.
I mean, what else was in yours? Because
Oh my
was there poppy seeds in here?
No, I use pastry flour
Uh-huh.
and a little rice flour. So it gives it a little bit of a crumbly crunchiness.
Makes it shorter.
Whoa.
I do both powdered sugar and a little caster sugar. I know it's fussy. It's fussy. That's the way I roll.
It sure is.
Decadent.
You said it, not me. Mommy.
I like to take the extra step.
I've learned as I get older, it's like, say nothing. Just let them say it. There you go. That's a really good cookie.
This too. Oh my God, I could just keep eating them.
So I've never had an Italian Christmas cookie before. I'm going to try this one.
Yeah.
Because Ami made these, and I don't think I
try one of
tasted
those
them
too.
when we made them.
Oh, these are my
What's the
favorite.
deal with these guys?
They're the Italian rainbow
It's
cookies.
supposed to look like the Italian flag, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Are they almondy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're good.
You guys want one? We share here at Need to Know. I'm gonna go right in and have some of your Christmas crack.
Yeah.
I mean, you would like these because they're fussy.
I do like a fussy cookie.
You do. That's really yummy. This little rainbow one is actually really yummy.
Yeah, they're so good.
And I've always kind of steered away from them because the amount of work and labor that goes into these 3 different layers I mean, I watched Ami do this one day and it took her hours.
Yeah, but
I don't want to have to do that.
but they're worth it and they last a long time and they're so lovely. They're beautiful.
It's very delicious.
Yeah.
I'm very satisfied with our cookie exchange. This is my favorite taste test tasting we've ever done.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's way better than banana bread.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. Make sure you like, subscribe, rate, and review us anywhere you listen to podcasts. And of course, you can always catch every episode of Need to Know on YouTube.
From HRN and the Bold Baking Network, you are listening to Need to Know.